Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to today's education based Indiana High School Athletic Association Varsity Boys Baseball. This radio coverage is made possible through audiosportsonline.net. That's ASO. That's Rob Kendall. You can find Rob Kendall weekday mornings, 10 to noon on the Rob Kendall Show. That's the robkendallshow.com. Rob Kendall Show. You'll enjoy Rob each and every weekday morning. We do thank you for tuning in. We'll mention both teams have already had their infield outfield practice. We'll mention tonight it's the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights in the first base dugout. They're going to go against the Lafayette Jeff Broncos in the third base dugout. This is a home field for Lafayette Jeff. What a blessing. But I tell you what, they earn it. They work on the field. It's all good. I will mention the umpires are on hand. They are at home plate right now. The field umpire is going to wear the long sleeve dark blue shirt, and then the home plate umpire going to wear just a regular shirt, dark blue, well, sleeves missing. I will mention, we'll talk a little bit about each school. First, we'll talk about the visiting team on the scoreboard. That is the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. The Knights, their school was founded in 1956. They have a school enrollment of 302. They're in Class 2A, sectional number 37. And there are 7 in their sectional, and their sectional will be played at North Montgomery High School. In their sectional, alphabetically, it's Benton Central, Delphi, Central Catholic, North Montgomery, Rensselaer Central, Eager, Western Boone. The principal at Central Catholic High School is Dan Charleboy. There we go, Charleboy. That's what A.J. Bourdonnais tried to help me with the pronunciation the other night after the game at West Lafayette. The athletic director at Central Catholic High School is Tim Bourdonnais. The assistant AD is Charlie Roberts, and the athletic trainer is Sarah Igo. We'll mention Lafayette Central Catholic High School is located at 2410 South 9th Street, Lafayette, Indiana, 47909. You can find them on the web at lccathletics.com. They wear the collars, navy and white. They perform in the Hoosier Athletic Conference. There are 9 teams in the Hoosier Athletic Conference, and right now they stack up like this. Now, this is not by division, it's by the conference. Right now, the Western Panthers, they are 11-0 on the season. They are 6-0 in the Hoosier Conference. The Twin Lakes Indians, they are currently 6-3 on the season. They are 5-1 in the Hoosier Conference. Lafayette Central Catholic, currently 9-1 on the season. They are 5-1 in the Hoosier Conference. Then it's Logansport. Logansport, they are 5-4 on the season. They are currently 2-2 in the Hoosier Conference. Followed up by Benton Central. They're 1-3 in the conference. Hamilton Heights, 1-3 in the conference. Rensselaer Central, 1-3 in the conference. Tipton, 1-5 in the conference. And West Lafayette in the conference are 0-4. Central Catholic on a home site right there at Gordon Lemming, they're 3 wins, no losses. On the road, they're 4-1. And on a neutral setting, they are 2-0. As mentioned, the Knights are 9-1 on the season, 5-1 in the Hoosier Conference West Division. The head coach for the Knights is Mr. Tim Bourdonnais. He is a 1987 graduate from Central Catholic. And the next game on the agenda for the Knights, they'll play again tomorrow. It'll be a morning game, 11 a.m. on the 25th. Pioneer Panthers will be at the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. We'll talk a little bit about the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. The Broncos, their school was founded in 1912. They have a school enrollment of 2,034, They're in Class 4A, sectional number 7. There are 4 in their sectional. The sectional this year will be played right here at Loeb Stadium. In their sectional are the Harrison Raiders, Kokomo Wildcats, Lafayette Jeff Broncos, and the McCutcheon Mavericks. The principal at Lafayette Jeff High School is Mark Preston. The athletic director is Justin Gardner. The athletic assistant is Scott Leverins. I met him when I got here. What a kind gentleman. He is governing tonight's activities. And the athletic secretary, very instrumental. Appreciate her. That's Stephanie Pinson. And we'll mention Lafayette Jeff High School is located at 1801 South 18th Street, Lafayette, Indiana 47905. You can dial them by dialing 765 772 4700. On the web, it's BroncoAthletics.com. You spell Bronco, BronCho, BroncoAthletics.com. There were the collars, red and white, red and black. We'll mention they perform in the North Central Conference. There are 6 in their conference. And in their conference are the Anderson Indians, Kokomo Wildcats, Lafayette Jeff Broncos, Marion Giants, Muncie Central Bearcats, and the Richmond Red Devils. Lafayette Jeff currently 6 wins, 6 losses on the season. They are 4-0 in the North Central Conference. And their head coach is Gregory Franklin. And the next game on their agenda is going to happen on Monday, the 27th, 6 o'clock start. It'll be the Avon Orioles right here at Loeb Stadium with the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. And they're finishing up the announcements right there. And they're mentioning the home team, Lafayette Jeff Broncos. Pretty strong voice right there. I had some incredible help with some pronunciations for Lafayette Jeff. Gabby, she's a senior. She's doing video. She helped me. She's going to IUK next year, IU Kokomo. She's going to study biology. A pretty sharp lady, and she helped me with some difficult pronunciations. So we'll hope to get those correct tonight. So 6:56. This game was supposed to start about 6 o'clock. They let Mother Nature take its course and back an hour. And it's a beautiful evening right here at Loeb Stadium. We're going to be blessed with a female vocalist and our national anthem. And that ought to be good. We're going to get that, and we hope it can be heard from our recording device here. We're going to set this down. Wow, well done. She is proud of our country. A wireless microphone standing 2 feet on the pitcher's rubber and delivering an anthem like that. That was great. So both teams back to their dugouts. We're getting ready to play baseball here momentarily. We'll mention the parameters here on the home run fence. Down the right field line, it is 315. Down the left field line, it is 340 feet. I will mention the alley in left field, a little closer to the third base line than it would be normally because they have some signs on the fences. The fence holds some good advertisement. We'll mention right there in front of the slide, they have a little water park across the fence right there, just beyond the Jumbotron. Jumbotron is nice. It'll show all 9 innings. If they play 9, they'll show 7. But we'll mention Lafayette Jeff going to take the field right now. In left center, we'll call it. It's 358. In straightaway center field, it's about like Victory Field. Victory Field, I think straightaway is 405. And in the left deep alley is Victory Field's 418. Right here in center field, it's 414. And in right center field, it's more like the alley over there. I think it says 382. It might be 362, but I believe it's 382. So pretty good parameters right here. A pitcher is somewhat safe with about any pitch they'd want to throw. I know if you go to Laporte does not have their fence marked. But anyway, it's a deep fence at Laporte High School. Well, the semi-states are held there. So they get some warm-up tosses. On the pitcher's rubber for Lafayette Jeff is Nate Hilsebeck. Nate Hilsebeck going to step in. He wears number 0. He's pitching from the windup right now, getting warmed up. Nate Hilsebeck, we'll mention, he's on the season. He's got 2 wins, 1 loss. This is appearance number 4 for Hilsebeck. And I will mention he's participating in his 8th game right now. Hilsebeck has 12 and a third innings, just 12 and a third innings so far. He's given up 12 hits. He's given up 10 runs. 9 of those runs were earned. He has walked 4 batters. He has struck out 23. 23 batters struck out in 12 and a third innings. Pretty good. He has faced 57 batters this season. He's thrown a total of 219 pitches entering this game. So stepping in, first batter in the ball game, he is the leadoff batter. That's number 3 for the Knights, L.J. Whitford, right-handed batter. 7:01 p.m. There's a wind in the first pitch from Hilsebeck. Swung on, ground ball foul, left side. Going to bounce off the dugout, extended dugout right there. These dugouts are in ground. They are nice. The Aviators, I believe, they play here. They are blessed also. Here comes a wind in the pitch from Hilsebeck. Swing and a miss. Count goes 0-2 to Whitford. 2 pitches, 2 strikes. Right-handed batter, he'll step back in. Whitford going to play shortstop tonight. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Swung on, he'll pop it up. Shortstop going to give it a look out in the grass. He's going to make a good catch about 20 feet out in the synthetic grass. And there's 1 out here in the top of the first inning. So next batter going to step in for the Knights. It's going to be number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer playing the third base position tonight. He's a left-handed batter. Here comes a right-handed delivery from Hilsebeck. Breaking pitch, backdoor, in there for a strike. Nice placement from Hilsebeck. Here in the end, looking at signals. Hilsebeck is a senior class member. Here comes a second pitch, ground ball. It's going to get through the middle infield, right there past the shortstop. He gave it an effort. He knew he couldn't get to it. It goes into center field and is thrown back in by Thomas Kotempa. So a base hit. Knights have a runner aboard. It's Alex Schumer at first base. So next batter going to step in for the Knights, number 34, Isaiah Hopkins. Isaiah Hopkins going to step in, right-handed batter. And my wife is listening. Yeah, we love each other. Out of the set position, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch misses just outside. I have seen this umpire before. He's good. I've watched him, and he is a good umpire. He's young. Hopefully, he'll do it for several years because IHSAA needs good umpires. Out of set position for Hilsebeck. Here comes a pitch. High above the zone. So signals given. Coach Bordnay at third base coach. Alex Schumer got himself aboard with a base hit. He's at first base. Out of set position. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch just missed outside the ball. That break is happening outside. I will mention Coach is one little explanation. He's deserving. That's Coach Franklin. And now the base umpire going to have a little conversation with Hilsebeck. Hilsebeck does drop the ball, but he's not standing on the rubber. But time is probably out. I did not see that. So he'll step back in. Isaiah Hopkins. Here comes the pitch. Outside edge, strike called. 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out. He'll look for signals, step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Hilsebeck out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he's going to pop it way high on the middle of the infield. It's going to be called for by the shortstop, and he'll catch it on the second base side of the infield. There are 2 outs. So that catch is made by Mason Pekin. Mason Pekin, he wears number 9. Mason Pekin is a member of the senior class. He called that one right off the bat and stuck with it. The 2 outs, stepping in for the night. Gus Sandberg. He is the designated hitter in tonight's ball game. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Outside low, ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. Gus Sandberg is batting in place of the Knights pitcher. That's Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke doing the pitching for the Knights tonight. Out of set position. Hilsebeck. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, shortstop, Pekin. He's going to go to first base and get the out with Asa Ritchie. And the Knights leave 1 on base. They come up with no runs. Base hit off the bat of Alex Schumer. And we'll go to the bottom of the first inning, no score. As we listen to some Journey, any way you want it. That's the way you need it. But Knights, you're in battle tonight with the Broncos. And we do thank you for tuning in. We'll mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Scott G. Scott Gashaw. Scott Gashaw told me, he said, when time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana middle school and high school athletics. So on the pitcher's rubber right there is Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke getting some warm-up tosses. And Jonah Gerke will mention, he's a member of the junior class. He's a pitcher and a third baseman. He's 6'5", weighs in at 195. Now Isaiah Hopkins back out. He's got his gear on. Cooper Renback taking some warm-up tosses prior to Isaiah. We'll mention Lafayette Central Catholic. Jonah Gerke. We'll let you know he has pitched 14 innings this season. And this is appearance number 5. This is game start. Game start number 4. He's got 3 wins, no losses. He's given up 10 hits. He's given up 5 runs. 2 of those runs were earned. He has walked 6 batters. He has hit 2 batters along the way. He's faced 64 batters this season. He's thrown a total of 218 pitches. And that's pretty similar to Nate Hilsebeck for the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. And they're going to throw one down. We're getting ready for bottom of the first inning. Baseball here on a Friday makes it a little bit more fun that it's a Friday. And the rain has stopped. I tell you what, my watch, my T-Mobile watch and my T-Mobile phone gives me alert. And when it gives me an alert, says there's a tornado warning, is that the alert from where I'm from or where I'm at? But anyway, stepping in, Lafayette Jeff, first hitter, number 12, Ben Pickering. He is the catcher. First pitch from Jonah, going to be inside, and it's going to get him. Going to get him a piece of his body, and he's going to jog down to first base. And there's one aboard here in the bottom of the first inning. And we're going to see a courtesy runner. Courtesy runner going to jog out. It's number 23, Preston Robertson. Preston Robertson, courtesy runner. For the catcher, Ben Pickering. Robertson is a member of the junior class. So second batter in the lineup for the Broncos going to step in. It's number 9, Mason Pekin. He's already been plenty busy at the top of the first at shortstop. The stand in, straightaway stance. Modest lead there at first base, maybe a little more than modest. Out of set position, Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Strike taken. Count goes 0-1 to Pekin. Signals given. They're giving signals. There's no digits in this ball game from the coaches. Out of set position. Jonah Gerke checks first base. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He's taken off. Going to try to steal second. The throw is good. Just behind the sliding safe trot by Ben Pickering. Excuse me. Right there. That is Preston Robertson. Preston Robertson just stole second. And he'll step back in. Mason Pekin. So working from the stretch. Now the set. Check second base. Here's the pitch. Inside and low for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. They've got the balls and strikes and outs up there. They're in a reversed fashion. That's what we would call it in the sign industry. The number is the scoreboard, and then they got a block around it. Lights lit up. Kind of tough to see. Here comes the pitch. It'll be another hit by pitch. And he's going to jog down to first base. So Mason Pekin learns a hit by pitch trip to first base. There are 2 aboard, first and second base. Pekin is at first base, and Robertson is at second base. 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out, getting signals. He'll step back in. Ethan Lane, the batter, he plays third base for the Broncos. Here and in, looking at signal. Out of set position, he'll check second base. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes. We've just begun here at Loeb Stadium. What a beautiful ballpark. Kind of reminds you a little bit of a victory field. Out of set, here comes a pitch. Swung on, be a shot to the left center. It's going to bounce once. Dick will pick it up on the bounce, and the runners will hold at their 90-foot base. And bases are now loaded. Ethan Lane with a base hit to left center field. Stepping into bat, we're going to see the 4-hitter. He is the DH. He's batting in place of the pitcher, Nate Hilsebeck. And it's going to be number 20, Aiden Holly, when we resume. Coach Borden, they're going to walk out. Talk with his infield. Bases are loaded, nobody out. We're in the bottom of the first inning. And we'll also mention tonight's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers. That's Fritz and Fishers. You can hit a home run with a card from Fritz and Fishers. Fritz is knocking it out of the park with great deals this spring and summer. So slide on in and get a deal. You will be safe for sure at Fritz and Fishers. And that is fritzandfishers.com. You can go online and check out a whole bunch of their automobiles. They have pre-delivery inspection on each automobile. So stepping in, it's going to be number 20, Aiden Holly. Aiden Holly, right-handed batter. Bases are all occupied by the Broncos. Nobody out. Here comes a pitch. Breaking pitch right across the dish. Strike called. Righty facing a righty. And he'll step back in. A little bit of a closed stance for Aiden Holly, the four-hitter. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, foul ball. Back to the screen. Count goes 0-2. And no balls, two strikes. Jonah Gerke trying to work his way out of this situation. He's a junior class member. He's a darn good pitcher. He's going to peer in, look at signals. Out of the stretch. Now out of the set position. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Try to check his swing, and he's going to say he did check his swing. And he did look like he did check his swing. Count goes 1-2. So that pitch was in the dirt. He had to check that swing. And peering in, looking at signals, is Jonah Gerke. Out of stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. He'll take it to left center. It's going to drop in. We picked up on one hop by Dick. He's going to throw it to the plates. Be cut off by Geyer, the first baseman, near the pitcher's mound. And it's going to be a base hit. RBI off the bat of the four-hitter, Aiden Holly. But one run in here in the bottom of the first inning. Scoring the run was pinch runner. I should say courtesy runner, number 23, Preston Robertson. So stepping into bat, it's going to be the five-hitter, number 3, Asa Ritchie. He plays first base, and he's a left-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Outside half, strike called, a fastball. No balls, one strike. Asa Ritchie, the first baseman. Base is still loaded. There's one out. Let me check that. There's nobody out. Meyer. Pitch comes in outside and low. Good block by Isaiah Hopkins. 1-1 count. Nobody out. Bases loaded. Bottom of the first inning. One run in for the Broncos. Here and then, look at a signal. Long pier getting signal from Isaiah Hopkins. It's relayed from the dugout. Coach Subordinate. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Strike call. Fastball. Got the outside edge. Might have been outside half. Count goes 1-2. To Asa Ritchie. So Ritchie is the five-hitter. Working out a stretch. Now the set, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Inside, low. Good block by Isaiah Hopkins. Everybody's safe. It bounced around there. Got no piece of Asa Ritchie. So Ritchie, left-handed batter, he'll step back in. Here and in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Long pier. Bases loaded. 2-2 count to Ritchie. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, foul. First base side. It's going to be gloved without a glove by the first base coach for the Broncos. So count stays 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Open stand. Asa Ritchie. Peering in, looking at sale. Out of set position. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Inside, low. It's going to be a good block by Isaiah Hopkins. Ball off the glove. It stays right there in his vicinity. So the count goes full. 3-2 count. Five-hitter, number 3, Asa Ritchie. He plays first base. Left-handed batter. Out stretch. Now the set for Gerke. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball in the infield. He fielded at second base. He'll tag the runner. He'll throw to first, and they're going to call him out. They're going to give the double play. I think, yeah, the double play will happen. And right there at second base was Mikey Stapleton, a ground ball. He fielded it close to the base runner. He tagged the runner and then threw to first base, got the double play. So the Knights, good effort there. And now there's just one base runner on. I will say a run comes in to score. Bases were loaded. They give up the run, but they get 2 outs. So runner at third base, stepping in, number 15, Thomas. Coach Timpa. Here comes the pitch. Take it the other way. Line shot. It's going to be caught just above ground level. And Brennan Van Kirk never disappoints. What a catch, Van Kirk. And that'll end the bottom of the first inning. So the Knights get out of the inning and only give up 2 runs. And after loading them up, I mentioned Lafayette Jeff, 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning after 1 complete. Lafayette Jeff, 2. Central Catholic, 0. And the Knights are going to bat in the top of the second inning. And we'll also mention tonight's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Discount Copies. Discount Copies, they are conveniently located on the west side of Noblesville, Indiana. They're just behind Pizza Hut and next to Bowl 32. That's along State Road 32. At Discount Copies, they provide set-up services. That means they'll do your artwork. They'll help you, and that will help you to create note cards, notepads, prints, and calendars. And it's never too early to think about personalized Christmas cards. They'll help you do posters, oversized printing, and it's also available. You can also, if you're planning a wedding, they can print all of your necessary wedding needs. Now you can reach them, Discount Copies, by phone 317 773 8783. Again, that's 317 773 8783. Or by Gmail, it's Discount Copies, plural, 96 at gmail.com. So Discount Copies. They are nice folks. They are very helpful for a lot of folks. So stepping into bat for the night. Going to be the 5-hitter, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Hilsabeck. Outside a ball. 1 ball, no strike. Nate Hilsabeck working in the top of the second inning. Mikey Stapleton playing second base in this ball game. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Healthy catch, swing and a miss. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right-handed batter, Mikey Stapleton. On deck is Caden Keller. Here comes the wind and the 1-1 pitch. Going to call out a strike. That was inside a bit. It was close. They called a strike. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I'm still not complaining about this umpire. He's good. Swing and a miss, and he'll go down swinging. And they'll throw it around the horn. First base, first throw. So there's 1 out. Top of the second inning. Next batter for the night is going to step in. It's going to be the 6-hitter, number 21, Caden Keller. Caden Keller playing right field. Left-handed batter, a bit of an open stance. First pitch from Hilsabeck. Swung on, foul ball, back to the screen. No balls, 1 strike. Top of the second inning. On deck for the Knights is Colton Geyer. No balls, 1 strike. Here comes the wind from Hilsabeck. Here comes the pitch. Inside a ball. Outfield 1 to strike. Home plate umpire has a good zone. He really does. I would guess he's in his mid-20, maybe 30. Here comes the wind and the pitch. High out of the zone. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Caden Keller. Left-handed batter. Here comes the wind. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Keller does have 3 home runs this season. I'm sure different teams find out, who's hitting the ball. So I'm sure he knows that Keller can hit the ball. Here comes the 3-1. Above the zone, ball 4. So Caden Keller draws a walk, a 5-pitch walk. And stepping into bat for the Knights is going to be number 19, Colton Geyer, the first baseman. On deck for the Knights is Coy Gick. So we'll take a modest lead here at first base. Caden Keller working from the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Just foul of first base. Just foul. Home plate umpire was up the line. He saw it clearly. It was close. I will say Asa Ritchie was trying to pull that ball fair according to where he was standing. But you can't lie to the baseball. So timeout on the diamond. Coach Bortney going to talk briefly here with Colton Geyer. And Coach Bortney, first base coach, going to talk briefly with Caden Keller. So time is back in. No balls, one strike, one out. Top of the second inning. It's a 2-run ball game. Broncos got 2 in the bottom of the first. Out of the set, here's the pitch. That's going to be a hit by pitch. Got him on the elbow. I believe it was over the chalk. He was close to the home plate when that ball hit him. And I think they're going to talk about that right now. Head coach for Lafayette, Jeff, going to talk about that right now with the home plate umpire. Wants to know whether or not maybe he had an elbow in the way of the baseball other than getting out of the way of the baseball. So I'm pretty sure that's the conversation they're having right there at home plate. And just a little bit of information in the ear of the umpire that he'll remember. So, two aboard for the Knights, first and second base. So Caden Keller and also Colton Geyer stepping in. Boy Dick out of step position. Hilsebeck checks second. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch finishes away. Ball 1. On deck for the Knights is Brennan Van Kirk. Some signals given. Coy Gick going to step back in. Working from the stretch. Now the set, he'll check second base. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Foul ball. Coy Gick. He'll take it back to the screen. It'll bounce back. And LJ Whitford going to have a race right there with Brody Yowker, sophomore. They're both sophomores. They were chasing that ball together. Now the set position. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. As inside and tight off the glove of Pickering. And the Knights runners read the dirt and move up 90 feet each. So the Knights have 2 in scoring position now, second and third base. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Nate Hilsebeck, pitcher's duel against Jonah Gerke for the Knights. Peering in, looking at signal, stepping in the box is Coy Gick. Counts 2-1 to Gick. Out of that position, checks third. Here's the pitch. Lets it go by. A breaking pitch finishes outside and low. Count goes 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. A 2-run ball game. Knights just 1 out with 2 aboard, second and third here in the top of the second. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, base hit to left field. Got the grass, going to score 2. Dick is going to try for second base, and he'll slide in without a slide needed. And Coy Gick gets a 2-base, 2 RBI hit to left field. So Coy Gick feeling pretty good about that one. Coy Gick now has a batting average. So that's got to feel good. And timeout on the diamond. They go out and have conversation right there. Coach Gregory Franklin. And they're having a conversation there at the pitcher's rubber. The infield, talking some things over. It's a tie ball game at 2. And a long talk there. Home plate umpire is not going to walk out. Not going to walk out and break up a meeting. Coach is going to walk off the field. It's all good. It's a Friday night. Plenty of time tonight. He will go out and make sure Pickering comes back, as Pickering was still having a little bit of a conversation with Hilsebeck. So he did bring him back behind the dish. So stepping in, 9-hitter for the night, Brennan Van Kirk. Left field, where's number 41? One aboard for the Knights is Coy Gick. He's at second base. Healthy catch, swing and a miss. No balls, one strike. There's one out. Top of the second inning. Knights have 2 runs in. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of set position, check second base. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch finishes away and low. Profile view from home plate from each dugout. Can't fool you, but that home plate umpire has a good bead and a good eyesight on the baseball. Out of set, Nate Hilsebeck. Here's the pitch. Outside the ball. That pitch right there was being given as a strike in the last ball game the Knights played for both teams, and that was a bit questionable. But you got to go with what the umpire's zone is. Got to find it out and live with it. Alice said, here's the pitch. Outside the ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. Talk right there. Shortstop, Mason Pekin, and jog in, give some information to Hilsebeck. Pekin will jog back to shortstop position. Yeah. And it's a 3-1 count. 1 out. Brennan Van Kirk, right-handed batter's box. Out of the set, Hilsebeck. Check second base a couple of times. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut between a miss. Down goes 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Brennan Van Kirk steps back in. Kind of hugging the plate just a bit. He's down on the knob of that bat. Out of the set position. Check second base. Here's the pitch. Ground ball foul right side. Trying to glove it there without a glove was A.J. Bourdonnais. He did play shortstop for the Knights. He played shortstop at Marion University. So he'll roll the ball back in to L.J. Whitford to bring back up here in a moment or two. So working out a stretch, now a set. 3-2 pitch again to Brennan Van Kirk. Here comes the pitch. Gonna pop one foul right side. It'll float out of play. And he'll step in the box again. 3rd time with a 3-2 count. Brennan Van Kirk, a senior class member. Now the set position. Hilsebeck checks second base. Here's the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. So they get a 4th time a 3-2 pitch. Brennan Van Kirk right there on it. He's right on time with the swing. Here and then looking at signal. Nate Hilsebeck. Out of the set, he'll check second base. Check it again. Here comes the pitch. Going to pop one up. It's going to go back behind home plate. It might not be playable, and it is not. It's in the seats. Good effort there by Pickering. He ran out of real estate. And they were getting some help. They had to point the baseball out. That's just the way it is. The catcher's not really sure where that ball's at. So his infield working real good, pointing the baseball out to Pickering. So stepping back in. I believe this is number 5, 3-2 count. To Brennan Van Kirk, out of the set. Hilsebeck, here's the pitch. Going to be a shot to the left field, a base hit. That is a quality at bat. And he's going to get an RBI coming around from second base to score is Coy Gick. And Brennan Van Kirk, a base hit RBI, must have been about a 10 or an 11 pitch at bat. Boy Dick scores a run, stepping into bat here for the second time for the night. It's going to be number 3, L.J. Whitford. L.J. Whitford, right-handed batters, but played in all 10 games. Breaking pitch, just missed outside. Count goes 1-0. Brennan Van Kirk is at first base doing his own base running. And Whitford has been to the plate 40 times, 31 at bats. Ground ball up the middle, playing it right there, was peeking. He'll throw to first base, and they're looking for an interference call at second. Brennan Van Kirk did slide, and over to that first base, I didn't see the collision or the action, but L.J. Whitford is a little bit grimacing right now. Might be his left foot, left lower leg area. But the slide into second base was a slide. It wasn't a peel. If you can either peel off, stop and get out of the way, or you can slide in. You didn't slide. If you slide into second base, you got to slide in such a way where you can slide close enough, according to the umpire, to touch the base. That doesn't mean you have to slide right at the base. But if you slide, you just got to be in a vicinity close enough to the umpire said you could touch the base or grab it as you went by. So there was no interference call. I guess it would have been obstruction in my ear. It's obstruction if it's a defensive interference. If it's done by the offense, then that's interference. So stepping into bat, it's going to be Alex Schumer. It's a 3-2 ball game. Knights in front. 2 outs. Here in the top of the second, first pitch high and inside for ball 1. So here and in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch inside again. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. L.J. Whitford seems to be okay. He's at first base, getting a good lead. And there's some activity, some verbal activity on the ball field. And it's coming from the third base dugout. So home plate umpire's kind of stopping the game. He says, hey, we can't have that. We can't have that. It happens from fans. It happens from either dugout. This is a competitive game. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch. Now the set. Hilsebeck. Here's the pitch to Schumer. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Schumer takes a solid cut right there. Schumer has played in all 10 games. He also has 40 plate appearances, 28 at-bats. He's batting .393 in that left-handed batter's box. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball, second base. Be fielded nicely. He'll toss it to first. And the out is recorded. Kyle O'Neill, second baseman, to Asa Ritchie. And the Knights are retired in the top of the second inning, but not before the Knights record 3 runs. And we'll go to the bottom of the second after 1.5. Central Catholic 3, Lafayette Jeff 2. And we'll also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Round Tripper. Round Tripper Academy. That's the premier academy for baseball training. That's in Westfield, Indiana. Roundtripper.com. Just go to roundtripper.com. The owner is Chris Estep. Chris Estep, if you didn't know, he's the University Trailblazers baseball coach. He runs the program. Round Tripper, the sports academy. We'll mention it opened its doors in the fall of 1993. The vision was to become the premier facility for baseball training in central Indiana. 30 years and tens of thousands of student athletes later, they have become a mainstay for elite athletes throughout the Midwest and central Indiana. Their mission has been to help every athlete reach his or her fullest potential. That's round tripper. If you want information, you can go to info at roundtripper.com. Info at roundtripper.com. You can reach them by phone 317 896 2900. So that's Round Tripper Sports Academy. Like they're in Westfield, not too far away from Grand Park. Stepping into bat. Going to be number 8, Kyle O'Neill. He made that final play in the top of the second at their to first base to get the put out. Here comes the pitch from Gerke. Swung on, foul ball, left side. And it's going to stay in the field of play. It was a line shot. And the count goes 0-1. So 7-hitter, number 8, Kyle O'Neill, working from the windup. 1 foot on. Here comes the pitch from Gerke. Swung on, ground ball, third base. Fielded by Alex Schumer. He'll go across the diamond, and he'll get the put out with Colton Geyer. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. So stepping to the plate for Lafayette Jeff is going to be the 8-hitter, number 7, Will Armstrong. Will Armstrong, he plays left field for the Broncos. So right-handed batter, you're going to step in. Working from the windup, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the wind, first pitch, Armstrong. Inside a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Sun is still up. The lights are not needed yet. We may need them in a bit. Here comes the pitch. High and away, ball 2. Will Armstrong, the 8-hitter for Lafayette Jeff. Straightaway stance, right-handed batter. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Gerke. Swung on, he'll pop 1 foul, straight back, out of play. Isaiah was looking at it. He was carrying that mask. I'll tell you what, you go to some camps, you can learn a lot about the catcher's position. He's smart enough to know to carry that mask till he needs to discard it. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Foul ball just left of the third base bag. Just foul, so he'll jog back. Isaiah Hopkins will hand him his bat. And that was just foul. So the count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Lafayette Jeff batting in the bottom of the second inning. It's a 3-2 contest. Knight's got 3 in the top of the second. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, low and away. Ball 3. He'll step back in. Aaron in, look at the signals. Out the windup. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, base hit, left. No, wait. Got some air under it. There he is. It's Brennan Van Kirk. I didn't know he could close that quickly on that line shot to left center. But Brennan makes the catch. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. So next batter going to step in. He's the 9-hitter, number 14. He plays right field. That's Austin Franklin. Here comes the first pitch to Franklin. Low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 out. Bottom of the second inning. Lots of baseball yet to be played. Working from the windup, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Outside, ball 2. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. No signals given. Franklin steps back in. Working out of the windup. Here comes the 2-0. Low for ball 3. 3 balls, no strike. Austin Franklin. Take sign, probably. Here comes the pitch. Right across the ditch. Home plate was wide open for Jonah Gerke, and he hits it. The 3-1 count. They'll peer in, look at more signals. Out of the windup, here comes the 3-1 pitch. Strike 2. Austin Franklin was going to discard the bat, and he did. He was going to run to first base. I tell you what, back when we played West Lafayette and Mason Brummett waited for the call ball four before he discarded. Here comes the pitch. Outside there is ball four. So he jogged, he'll sprint down to first base. Number 14, Austin Franklin. Now at first base, there's 2 outs. So we're going to see the one hitter again for the Broncos, number 12, Ben Pickering. Ben Pickering's played in 11 games. I have 11 game stats here in front of me. 41 plate appearances, 33 at bat. He's batting .424, 537 on base percentage. The one hitter, the catcher, Ben Pickering. Out of the set, here's the pitch. Breaking pitch, got the dish. Strike called. So no balls, 1 strike. Austin Franklin is at first base for the Broncos. 2 outs. He'll step back in. Ben Pickering, a very good hitting catcher. Out of the set, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Signals given. We'll see if Austin Franklin is going to try to get to second base. He's going to get in scoring position with 2 outs. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch from Gerke. Low for a ball. Good block there. Short hop block by Hopkins. Keeps it right there in front of him. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Austin Franklin at first base. He's got pink batting gloves on. He's got a pretty good sized lead there. Out of the set, Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. He's got a good cut. He gets through the zone right now. It's number 12, Ben Pickering, the catcher. Ben Pickering, a member of the senior class. So we'll step back in. 2-2 count, 2 out. Out of the set position, Jonah Gerke. Next first base. Here comes, pickoff move. Step off the back, make no throw. So let's step back in. 2-2 count, 2 out. Here and in, looking at Stagel. Looks at first base, out of the stretch. Now the set position. Check first. Here's the pitch. Be low for a ball. And that's going to be ball 3. And Ben Pickering thought it was ball 4. They just took second base. They can't. That's like a stolen base. At second base, they're going to tag him, but he's not going to be out. That's like a stolen base. Because Austin Franklin was believing it was ball 4. The Knights infield was thinking the same thing because Ben Pickering was halfway to first base, thought it was ball 4 till the umpire let him know that's just 3. So that's like a delayed steal, I guess. Austin Franklin is at second base legitimately. So with 2 outs, count is now 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ben Pickering steps in. Here and in, looking at signal, out of the stretch. Out of the set, he'll check second base. Here's the pitch from Gerke. Low, that is ball 4. So he'll take the apparatus off that lower leg, left side. He'll jog down to first base, and let's see if the courtesy runner, they're going to bring him back out. He scored the first run of the ball game, number 23, Preston Robertson, is going to do the courtesy running at first base for Ben Pickering, the catcher. He'll put his gear on. So stepping into bat, Mason Pekin. Mason Pekin wears number 9. He's the shortstop. Here and in, looking at signal. Runners at first and second base for the Broncos. 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. So Mason Pekin, in 11 games, he's got 40 plate appearances, 32 at-bats. He's batting .469 with a .550 on-base percentage. He has scored 14 runs this season. That leads the team. Here comes the pitch. High above the zone, ball 2. Two balls, no strike to Mason Deacon, the two-hitter for the Broncos. Step back in. He's got 15 hits on the season. That's just behind Aiden Holly. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball, right side, out of play. So Mason Pekin, two balls, one strike, two outs, right-handed batter. Two aboard first and second base for the Broncos. Here and in, looking at Jonah Gerke. Now out of the set, he'll check second base. Here comes the pitch. Inside a ball. Might have been a bit up. Ball three. The count goes 3-1 to Mason Pekin. Here and in, Stengel. Jonah Gerke out of the stretch. Now the set position. Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. Going to issue a walk to Mason Pekin, and that's going to load the bases here in the bottom of the second inning with two outs. So stepping into bat, we're going to see number 4, three-hitter Ethan Lane. Ethan Lane on the season in 10 games, 32 plate appearances, 26 at-bats. He's hitting .308 with a .419 on-base percentage. And Coach Bordnay going to walk out, talk with his infield. And I will also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Indiana Beach. The Indiana Beach Amusement Park and Water Park. That's indianabeach.com. We're going to insert a new pitcher here in the second inning. It's going to be Gus Sandberg. Sandberg was the DH. He's the player DH. He's now being inserted into the lineup. And we'll also mention Indiana Beach, Monticello, Indiana. You can get a season pass this year, 2026 season pass, $77.99. If I'm right, you can renew last year's pass if you have one for $71.99 to renew last year's. They do have exciting roller coasters. They've got boat rides. You can spend a whole day at the water park. They have 50 plus rides and attractions. And yes, there is more than corn in Indiana. That's Indiana Beach. They are celebrating their 100th anniversary. The Parkside Lodging on Lake Schaefer is available. And Indiana Beach has a KOA campground. They're located at 5224 East Indiana Beach Boulevard. That's in Monticello, Indiana, 47960. You can give them a phone call at 574-583-4141. That's Indiana Beach. So Gus Sandberg on the pitcher's rubber right now getting warmed up. He has 11 2/3 innings under his belt. This is appearance number 4. He's faced 46 batters. He has thrown a total of 137 pitches. He's got 2 wins, no losses. He's given up 5 hits. He's given up 2 runs, but those runs were not earned. He has walked just 1 batter. He has hit 2 batters along the way. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's a senior class member. That's Gus Sandberg in the final warm-up tosses right now. He's about ready to go. He's going to get one more. And the base runners are going to reoccupy their bags. And we'll mention that bases are still loaded. Bases loaded for the Broncos. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Broncos yet to get a run across since the 2 in the bottom of the first. So stepping in, number 4, Ethan Lane, right-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals. Now out of the set position. Checks second. Checks again. First pitch from Sandberg. Outside of ball. Off-speed pitch, outside ball 1. Ethan Lane steps back in. 276 batting average, 389 on base percentage. There comes the pitch. He's going to drive one foul out of play, left side. Brennan Van Kirk gives it a good look over to the foul area. And the count goes 1-1. Ethan Lane, three-hitter, batting for the second time in this ball game. Ethan Lane has scored 7 runs. He's got 8 hits on the season. He's got 4 singles, 3 doubles, and a triple. So a 1-1 count to Lane. Here's the pitch. Short hops the glove. Good stop by Hopkins. Kept it in front of him. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here and in, looking at signal. Gus Stanberg. He's been pitching for 4 years that I've seen him. Here comes the pitch. No, for a ball. Ball gets by the glove a little bit there. No harm done. Covering home plate with Sandberg. Going to stay at third base. 3 runners aboard for the Broncos. 2 out. A 3-1 count. Here and in, looking at signals. The Sandberg. Long pier. Now the set position. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. They're called a strike. Count goes 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. That might have been a mulligan. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And he'll step back in. Mason Pekin is the batter. Bases loaded. 3-2 count. 2 outs. Out of the set, here's the pitch. Low for ball 4. So running on the pitch were the base runners. Full count. Coming in to score for Lafayette Jeff is number 14, Austin Franklin, sophomore athlete. And Lafayette Jeff have 1 so far here in the bottom of the second inning. Bases still loaded. Stepping in, number 20, the 4-hitter, Aiden Holly. As mentioned, Aiden Holly leads the team with 16 RBI. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Aiden Holly in 11 games, 39 plate appearances, 34 at-bats. He's batting .471, .487 on base percentage. Here and in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Above the zone, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Aiden Holly, 16 hits, 12 are single, 3 doubles, and 1 triple. He got 8 RBI. Out of set position. Here comes a pitch from Sandberg. Swung on, back up the middle. Top of the bat, didn't get the sweet spot, but he'll put it in there, and Dick's going to throw it to the plate. They're going to let it go through, and 2 come in to score. That was number 9, Mason Pekin, the head first Pete Rose slide at home plate. So Aiden Holly comes up with a base hit and 2 RBI. So the Broncos have 3 in here in the bottom of the second inning. Stepping into bat, 5-hitter, number 3, Asa Ritchie. Open stance. Runners at first and second base for the Broncos. 2 outs. Out of the set position. Check second. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut. Swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Asa Ritchie. He is the first baseman. He played in 11 games. 36 plate appearances. 29 at bats. He's batting .276. Left-handed batter's box. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, you pop one to right field and be called for by Caden Keller, and he'll make the catch. And the Knights will get to bat in the top of the 3rd inning. But just after, Lafayette Jeff pick up 3 in the bottom of the 2nd inning after 2 complete innings. Lafayette Jeff, 5. Central Catholic, 3. And we'll also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by the ultimate Kentucky getaway. You can escape to a one-of-a-kind retreat in the heart of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, where rolling hills, world-famous distilleries, and unforgettable memories await. Welcome to your private, 6-bedroom estate set on 7 scenic acres of peaceful countryside. Spend your days exploring legendary bourbon stops and then come home to unwind in the hot tub under the stars. Challenge friends in a game of pool on the billiards table. Practice your swing on the putting green or relax by the fire pit as the night sets in. And when it's time to wind down your private movie theater, the room is waiting. Whether it's a bourbon weekend, family gathering, or group getaway, there's space and something for everyone. No crowds, no stress, just comfort, connection, and the true spirit of Kentucky. For questions or direct bookings, text 317 442 7513. Text 317 442 7513. They do all bookings through Airbnb and Verbo. It's the Kentucky getaway. Stepping in. Right handed batter. Hopkins. Isaiah Hopkins, first pitch. Outside of ball. So he'll step out and look for signals. Isaiah Hopkins will step back in. Played in 10 games, 38 plate appearances, 28 at bats. You know, drive one. A rocket shot, third base side. Glad that wasn't in the vicinity of Coach Bourdonnais. That was a rocket. You see some of those at Victory Field. That's why they put the net screen up all the way around, like this place has. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Count goes 1-2. Isaiah Hopkins. He's batting 429 in that right-handed batter's box. 579 on base percentage. Pitch comes in, swing and miss. A little bit off speed there by Hilsebeck. And there's one out here in the top of the third inning. So the next batter going to step in, it's going to be number 30, Gus Sandberg. Gus Sandberg, now the pitcher of record for the Knights, the right-handed batter's box. Here comes the pitch from Hilsebeck. Swung on, swing and a miss. Gus Sandberg, he's played in 9 games. He missed 1 game this week. 31 plate appearances, 27 at bat. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. He cut off by Pekin at shortstop. He'll spin, step back up, and they throw a strike to first base to Ritchie, and they'll get the put out. So pretty athletic young man, Mason Pekin, the shortstop. So with 2 outs, stepping in for the night, number 11, Mikey Stapleton, second baseman. We're from the windup. Here comes a pitch from Hilsebeck, outside, ball 1. Mikey Stapleton, 10 games, 37 plate appearances, 28 at bats. He's batting 393 in the right-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch. Nearly got hit by pitch. I think that was a breaking pitch. Broke just enough not to get him on that lower left leg. The count goes 2-0 to Stapleton. Stapleton steps back in. Stapleton has been hit by a pitch once this season. Ground ball, left side. Going to misplay the baseball. He's going to make it safe at first. I believe it's going to be a reach on air, but nevertheless, Mikey Stapleton is at first base. So at 2 outs, stepping in for the Knights, number 21, Caden Keller made that catch in right field to end the bottom of the second. Keller's going to step in 10 games, 27 plate appearances, 24 at bats. He's batting 333 out of a set position. Hilsebeck. Here comes the pitch. Backdoor curveball misses outside, ball 1. So Caden Keller, 407 on base percentage. He got 8 hits on the season, 2 singles, 3 doubles, 3 home runs. Here comes the pitch. You're going to pop one foul straight back out of play. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. We're in the top of the third inning. Mikey Stapleton is at first base doing the base running. Alisadio, look over his right shoulder. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Might have been off speed, a little bit out in front of it. Count goes 1-2. Right-handed pitcher looks over the right shoulder. That's kind of different. It kind of takes your eyes off the strike zone. But not this time. Swing and a miss. And Keller will go down swinging, and the Knights are retired here in the top of the third inning. So Knights come up with no runs. They leave one runner on base. They're 2.5 innings. Lafayette Jeff 5, Central Catholic 3. And I will also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear. Lisa Stokes Bear, that's Century 21. She's got a real estate IQ that will work for the benefit of you. It's Lisa. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. She does have a vast knowledge with more than 25 years of question answering experience. You can let Lisa look or let Lisa list. Lisa knows that each home is precious. That's Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. She's company. She is highly recommended. She's a real estate agent and a real estate broker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone or by text message, go to 317 513 4086. Again, that number is 317 513 4086. That's Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. Going to throw one down to second base. Isaiah Hopkins, frozen rope. L.J. Whitford tosses it back to Mikey. Mikey throws it in the pitcher's mound, and Schumer puts it in the glove of his classmate, Sandberg. So stepping in, left-handed batter. We're going to see number 15, Thomas Potempa. Potempa, he's a center fielder. I wouldn't have got that right if Gabby didn't help me with the pronunciation before this game. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Swung on, it's pop one to right field. Going to back up Caden Keller. He'll get in position and he'll make the catch. There's one out here in the bottom of the third inning. A pretty good stroke right there off the bat of Potempa. And I'm stepping in. We're going to see the 7-hitter, number 8, Kyle O'Neill, another right-handed batter. He's played in 7 games. This is number 8. First pitch, outside, ball 1. Kyle O'Neill, where's number 7? 8 plate appearances, 7 at-bats entering this game. Here comes a pitch, outside, ball 2. O'Neill on the season. He'd think 286 with a 375 on base percentage. Here comes a pitch. Strike called. The bottom of the zone. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the third inning. Broncos batting. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. They took a pretty good cut right there. Not sure that was his cut, but coach probably had permission for him to swing away in such a vigorous motion. My dad was different than that when we grew up. He was coaching. So here comes the wind and the pitch, the 2-2. You're going to pop one. The pop it playable by the second baseman, Mikey Stapleton. He'll step back in the grass about 3 steps and make the catch. So there are 2 outs. Bottom of the third inning. It's a 5-3 ball game. Broncos in front. Just stepping in. We're going to see number 7, Will Armstrong. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. First pitch from Gus. Swing and a miss. Armstrong is playing in his 10th game. He has 8 plate appearances, 7 at-bats. And he'll step back in. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Count goes no balls, 2 strikes. 2 out. Working from the windup. Here's the pitch from Sandberg. Up the middle. Might get down. It's going to be caught. Caught by the second baseman, Mikey Stapleton. L.J. Whitford was there. He wasn't going to catch it. Stapleton made the catch on the third base side of the second base bag. He laid out for it and got the catch. So no runs, nobody left on base. In the third inning, no scoring taking place in the third. After three completes, Lafayette Jeff, 5. Central Catholic, 3. And we'll also mention, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and go around the infield. Haven't done that yet, I don't believe. Um, with Lafayette Jeff. Lafayette Jeff Broncos, as mentioned, their pitcher is Nate Hilselbeck. And their catcher, Ben Pickering. Ben Pickering wears number 12. First base, number 3, Asa Ritchie. Second base, number 8, Kyle O'Neill. Shortstop, number 9, Mason Pekin. At third base, number 4, Ethan Lane. In left field, number 7, Will Armstrong. In center field, number 15, Thomas Potempa. And in right field, number 14, Austin Franklin. The designated hitter in the ball game for the Broncos is number 20, Aiden Holly. Aiden Holly is batting in place of Nate Hilselbeck, the pitcher, and Nate wears number 0. They throw one down to second base. And they step in for the Knights. It's going to be number 19, Colton Geyer. Colton Geyer, a freshman athlete. He's played in 6 games, 19 plate appearances, 16 at-bats. Colton Geyer, he's batting .313. Got a .421 on base percentage. Looking from the windup, Nate Hilselbeck. First pitch to Geyer. Swung on, swing and a miss. So no balls, 1 strike to Geyer. Geyer has 5 hits on the season, 2 singles, and he has 3 doubles. Here comes the second pitch. Breaking pitch, misses away. Ball 1. Pretty good break on that pitch for Hilselbeck. Dials that in, he'll be dangerous. And here comes the windup. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Outside of the fastball. Low and outside. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Colton Geyer, the first baseman. Here comes the pitch. High and tight. That was inside. Ball 3. 3-1 count to Geyer as the lights are coming on right here at Loeb Stadium in Lafayette, Indiana. Here comes a 3-1 pitch. That's going to be a timeout. They call time. It's a hit by pitch. I'm taught that the umpire, when a hit by pitch happens, you call time. You don't say dead ball. And I appreciate the guy that teaches me. Pretty good guy, indeed. So stepping in, Coy Gick. Coy Gick going to step in for the Knights, batting in the 8th spot. He wears number 2, right-handed batter. 2 RBI base hit his first at bat. Alex Pat, here comes going to put a bunt down. Nope. Came up empty. They're going to call it an offer. Strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike. Knights trying to get a runner to second base. Colton Geyer, first base runner for the Knights. Out of the set. Hilselbeck checks over that right shoulder. He's going to square the bunt again. High, going to get by the glove. And the ricochet off the backstop, sometimes dangerous here with the padding. Throw goes into second. It's in right center field. So stealing second base. The bunt attempt, I should say, Coy Gick pulled the bat. The ball was high, got by the catcher's glove, Ben Pickering. But it bounced right back to him. He threw it to second base. And Geyer was safe at second, but the throw went into shallow right center field. So now Geyer is at third base. There's nobody out. 1-1 count to Gick. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch ends up outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. No signals given. Peering in, signal. Takes third base out of the set. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2 is the count on Coy Dick. Coy Dick going to step back in. He does have one RBI. I shouldn't take that back. He's looking for his first RBI. He has one base on balls. And that pitch comes in a breaking pitch and got the dish. So he'll go down looking, and there's one out here in the top of the fourth inning. So stepping in, Brennan Van Kirk, left fielder. Brennan Van Kirk has played in 10 games, 33 plate appearances, 31 at-bats, batting .355, right-handed batter's box, .394 on base percentage. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, got the dish, broke away. He does have the curveball working now. Good placement by Nate Hilsebeck. He'll peer in, look at the signal. Out of stretch. Now the set, he'll check. Geyer at third base. Here's the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. So Brennan will go down the count 0-2. There's one out. Colton Geyer is at third base for the Knights. Stepping back in, straightaway stand. Brennan Van Kirk peering in, looking at signals. Nate Hilsebeck out of the set position, checks third base. Here comes the 0-2. Right down Meridian, got the inside half. Strike called. He'll go down looking, and there are two outs here in the top of the fourth inning. So stepping in, we're going to see again the one hitter for the Knights. Leadoff batter in this game, number 3, L.J. Whitford. L.J. Whitford in 10 games, 40 plate appearances, 31 at-bats. He's batting .290. He has a .425 on base percentage. Here comes the first pitch. Hit by pitch. So Whitford gets hit by pitch. Might have been the left elbow. Didn't seem to phase him much. He's at first base now. You're going to put that sliding mitt on. So the Knights have runners on the corners. And stepping out in front of the plate, calling some signals now, is Ben Pickering. He'll step back behind the dish. Left-handed batter going to step in. Alex Schumer. Where's number 12? He's third baseman looking at signals. A few signals given by Coach Borden. So Alex Schumer, he's batting .393 on the season. .564 on base percentage. First pitch to Alex. Ground ball, foul. First base side, I should say. And a piece of that one with the hand, that was A.J. Boardman. Loaded up. So no balls, one strike. Alex Schumer going to step back in. Just a little bit of an open stance. Out of a set position. Hilsebeck, here comes the pitch. They're going to try to steal second. They're going to throw to second. They're going to get in a rundown. Knights are going to score a run. They're going to say in a rundown there, L.J. Whitford's trying to get safe at second. Now back to first, and he's going to be safe at first. They're going to call him different. They got differing calls there at first base. They did have the home plate umpire down there when you have a pickle like that. Yes, the home plate umpire needs to get down there because the base umpire is going to have visualization of second base. And they each had differing calls. They each made a call there, and they were opposite. I'm not going to mention which one said safe, but they were opposite calls. So they'll have to talk this over. This is a different situation than this is a tough one. But so while they're doing it, I'm going to mention this game is also in part being brought to you by McCormick Printing and Office Supply. Hey, baseball fans, let's give a cheer for one of our amazing local sponsors. That's McCormick Printing, Impressions, and Office Supplies. So they're going to call him out. Knights are going to go out and take the field defensively. So that out is going to be recorded. L.J. Whitford are going to say he didn't get back to first base in the run. They got the rundown going. But they did score the run. We'll finish this up in a moment with McCormick Printing. But they did score the run, so the Knights come up with one run in the top of the fourth inning. So after 3.5, Lafayette Jeff, the Broncos 5, and Lafayette Central Catholic, the Knights 4. So a good ball game. Lights are on. They got a nice jumbotron there in left center field. Jefferson Broncos baseball. They have a nice place to play. And as mentioned, they have 4 in their sectional, and those 4 teams going to have a nice place to play their sectional right here at Loeb Stadium. Synthetic field turf. The pitcher's mound is probably the same diameter as you would see on a grass field. It's sloped nicely. It's just like the real thing. They did it right here. There are some markings on the field. They've been playing some soccer, but they're not heavy markings, but you can see them. Here we go. First pitch, bottom of the 4th. Strike called. In the batter's box for Lafayette Jeff is number 14, 9-hitter Austin Franklin. So Austin Franklin, 0-1 count. He'll step back in. In 11 games, he's batting .278. Here comes the pitch from Sandberg. Outside of ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Austin Franklin. He's got an on-base percentage of .444. He's played in 11 games. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Austin Franklin, he has scored 5 runs this season. He's got 5 hits. 2 are singles and 3 are doubles. He has 9 RBI. Here comes the pitch. He'll take 1 to left field. It's going to be a foul ball. Not very much foul. Austin Franklin has those wheels. His last hit, I should say last at bat, he took 1 to left field. I think it was left field. Catch was made. He was already on his way to second base. He's got some wheels. He plays the game right. He's wearing them Nike red, white, and black Michael Jordan type shoes. Swung on. Third baseline. Foul ball. Just foul. Bounced near the base, but it was on the left side of that foul line. The pickup right there was made by Alex Schumer. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Austin Franklin. Austin Franklin has walked 4 times this season. He has been hit by pitch 3 times. And then Preston Robertson has been hit 4 times. Here comes the pitch from Sandberg. And as I say that, they're going to keep him in the box. I'm not sure if they're. I did see his shirt ruffle right there. His shirt got hit. I don't know if they're saying he didn't get hit or he didn't try to get out of the way. So Austin Franklin tossed the bat aside, and so they're gonna. The scoreboard says 1 and 2. They did get him in the shirt, but I'm not sure what they kept him in there because he didn't move. I'm guessing. Anyway, foul ball this time. Can be gloved right there without a glove by a third base coach. Now the count goes 2 and 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Austin Franklin. Here comes a wind. Gus Sandberg. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 3. 3-2 count to Franklin. Here and then looking at signals. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Low for ball 4. So hit by pitch, just a couple pitches more or whatever, he draws a walk. So Franklin is at first base. Nobody out. Stepping into bat. Going to be Ben Pickering. Pickering has been on base twice. This is his 3rd batting attempt in the ball game. 41 plate appearances, 33 at bat. Pickering, number 12, 424 batting average. Leadoff batter. He's the catcher. I was set. Sandberg, here's the pitch. Inside a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Pickering on base percentage is .537. He has scored 13 runs. Here comes that. Here comes the pitch. to take a shot to shortstop. It kind of tailed. It had a tail on it. It looked like it was going right at the glove of L.J. Whitford, but it tailed left and it went by his glove. I think he got a piece of it. That's definitely a base hit. So he's going to jog off the diamond again. He's been on base all three times. And again, 23, Preston Robertson, junior class member, is going to do the courtesy running for Ben Pickering. So 2 on board for the Broncos. Austin Franklin is at second base. Now at third base is Preston Robertson. Timeout. They're going to stop play. Stop play for just a moment. Make sure Austin Franklin's ready to go, and he is. So the base umpire puts his thumbs up. Here we go. So all goes live. That's number 8, O'Neill. For your Sandberg. Breaking pitch, your ball 1. 1 ball, there's no out. On the first hand, contact. Look the edge. Run. Hopkins. That base. Second out. There's the pitch. Ball. 2. No outs. The stand. Brook. That position. Pitch. For the field. The look around him. Throw it first. And then the animal for the here. Up. And feet. So that's then game and speak of each other. You can break it dish. Oh, the ball won't break. When sitting together, but head coach can't be angry. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. You're going to squirt bunt. Suicide bunt is successful. Steenberg will field it up the first baseline and hit it to Geyer. Excuse me, throw it to Geyer for the putout. But it's going to be an RBI and no time at the plate for Ethan Lane. So 1 run in. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Runner now at third base. At third base, doing the running, stepping into bat. Number 20, Aiden Holly. Here comes a pitch. Low for ball 1. Aiden Holly is the DH in the ball game. He's batting in place of the pitcher, Nate Hisselbeck. Hisselbeck is doing the pitching. Holly steps back in, working from a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Nearly got him. It didn't, evidently. I was wondering how it couldn't, but it didn't. So the count goes 2-0 to Holly. Holly steps back in. He's batting 471, 487 on base. He does have 1 home run this season. Here comes a pitch. Breaking pitch. Must have just missed. So the count goes 3-0 to Holly. If he has a green light here. 16 hits, 12 are singles, 3 are doubles. And a triple. I take that back. He does not have a home run. It's a triple. Here comes a pitch. Right down Meridian. He lets it go by. Strike called. 3-1 count to Aiden Holly. Aiden Holly, a member of the junior class. Here comes the pitch. Tries to check his swing. Home plate umpire did not need help to call that a strike. So the count goes 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Broncos have a runner at third base. We're going to stretch. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside edge, strike 3. Strikes him out looking. And Gus Sandberg gets himself out of the inning. So the Broncos come up with 1 run. 1 run, the bottom of the fourth. Suicide squeeze. Successful. At the end of 4 completes. Lafayette Jeff, Broncos, 6. Lafayette Central Catholic Knights, 4. Knights are going to bat in the top of the 5th inning. And again, we'll finish that up. Hey, baseball fans, let's give a cheer for one of our amazing local sponsors. It's McCormick Printing and Impression and Office Supplies. For more than 5 decades, MPI has been the go-to place for everything printed. That's posters, programs, shirts, signs, and all of your office supply needs that you could ever need. They are family owned, community minded, and always ready to help you knock your next project out of the park. That's McCormick Printing Impressions, where quality and service are always a home run. McCormick Printing Impressions, they're right there in Tipton, Indiana, 618 Oak Street. You want to call them? You can. It's 765 675 9556. So the Knights are going to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. 6-4 contest. Broncos in front. Stepping in, it's going to be 2-hitter, number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer going to step in. Left-handed batter. Here comes the pitch. That pitch was behind Alex. Left-handed batter's box. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Working from the windup. We'll have to double check here. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Hilsebeck still on the pitcher's rubber. Pitch comes in outside half. Fastball for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. First batter, top of the 5th. Alex Schumer. Here's the pitch. Foul 1, left side, way out of play. So Alex Schumer will step back in. A 1-2 count to Schumer. Schumer has 11 hits on the season, 6 singles, 4 doubles, and a home run. Backdoor curveball got the outside edge, strike 3, and Alex will go down looking. So 1 out, top of the 5th inning, next batter. Going to step in. It's Isaiah Hopkins. He wears number 34. He's doing the catching. Isaiah Hopkins batting .429, .579 on base percentage. 12 hits, 7 singles, 4 doubles, and a home run. Here comes the pitch. He took a shot base hit on the ground going into left field between third base and shortstop. And a solid stroke right there for Isaiah Hopkins. So Hopkins picks up the hit. He's going to evacuate the base pad there. He's going to give way to courtesy runner. And it's going to be Colton Minnick. Number 5, Colton Minnick, going to do the base running. Courtesy runner for Hopkins. As I said before, if you're a courtesy runner for Hopkins, you're going to be busy. Stepping in, I got Sandberg. So 1 out. Runner at first for the Knights. Sandberg. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Sandberg on the season, batting .259. That right-handed batter's .355 on base percentage. Out of the stretch, you'll look at first base. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch. He'll take it back up the middle. It's going to drop in there, a base hit. One hopper into the glove of Thomas Potempa, and Gus Sandberg earns a base hit to center field. So two aboard for the Knights. Sandberg at first, Colton Minnick at second. Coach Bourdonnais going to make an adjustment on his lineup card. And Gus Sandberg going to take a breather. He is the pitcher. So he'll take a breather. And going to be a courtesy runner. It's going to be McCarter. McCarter, where's number 27? Keegan McCarter. He's listed as a pitcher and an outfielder. He's 6 foot, 155. He's a junior class member. He'll run at first base for Sandberg. So the infield on the corners, I should say first base, infield's in, even with a bag at third baseman. Hit by pitch. So he didn't want to get hit by pitch. He's going to sprint to first base. That was number 11, Mikey Stapleton, first pitch from Hilsebeck. And Mikey Stapleton is at first base now with his second hit by pitch this season. So adjustments on the scorecard again. Got him on the elbow. He's rubbing it a little bit. They say don't rub it, but I don't know why. But he's going to run the bases. So at first base, Asa Ritchie is in on the lip of the grass. Left-handed batter in the box, Caden Keller. Bases are loaded for the Knights, just one out. Out of set, Hilsebeck, here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. So left-handed batter, Caden Keller, playing right field in this ball game. Here and in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Now the set for Hilsebeck. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking pitch, inside a ball. Finished inside, missed the dish. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Keller. Looking out of stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch from Hilsebeck. Outside, they're to call a strike. They're to call that a strike. It might be one of them makeup calls. It might be. The last pitch was not bad, and that one is like the John Kruk story you heard a couple of games ago. So the count goes 1-2. Out of set position. Here comes the pitch. Inside of ball's going to get by Ben Pickering. Coming in to score from third base is Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick via the base hit from Isaiah Hopkins. So the Knights have 1 in here in the top of the 5th. There's 1 out. 2 base runners, second and third base. Mikey Stapleton is at second. In the batter's box, Caden Keller comes to 2-2. High above the zone, ball 3. So full count to Keller. 1 out. Pretty good sized payoff pitch on the way right here at the top of the 5th. Out of set, Hilsebeck. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. So 3-2 count once again to Caden Keller. Caden Keller, he has 8 hits, as mentioned, on the season. He has 11 RBI. Caden Keller leads the team in RBI. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. So we'll go down swinging. There are 2 outs. The runner's still second and third base for the Knights. Next batter going to step in, 7-hitter, number 19, Colton Geyer. Colton Geyer, the first baseman. Geyer's played in 6 games, entering this one. You'd think 313. 5 hit, 2 singles, 3 doubles. He had 3 RBI. Out of set, Hilsebeck. Here comes the pitch. Been a cutter, bit of a slider, got the dish, broke away. Count goes 0-1. So no swing, strike 1. Here and in, looking at signal. Out of the stretch, Nate Hilsebeck. Out of set. Here comes the pitch to Geyer. Short out the glove, Ben Pickering. Good block. Kept it laterally to himself right there. Didn't make it out of the dirt surround. A synthetic dirt surround. I will say this dirt replicates dirt very well. Sometimes you see the darker fake dirt, and this looks good. Here comes the pitch. Checks his swing. I think they might ask. They are going to ask. But the catcher's job is to basically ask the home plate umpire, "Would you check?" They say sometimes if the catcher points directly, that's about the same thing he's doing. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. High and tight, nearly got the elbow. Count goes 3-1 to Colton Geyer. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Knights have a runner at third base. Steps back in. Peering in, looking at Signal. Out of the stretch, now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss for Geyer. Count goes full. 3-2 count, 2 out. Knights have 1 run in here in the 5th. It's a 6-5 contest. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. And he'll go down swinging. And the Broncos get out of the jam. But the Knights pick up 1. They pick up 1 run here in the 5th. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. At the end of 4.5, Broncos 6, Knights 5. And we'll also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Camino and Company. Camino and Company, they're in downtown Noblesville. You can reach them on the website. You can go to Camino-and-company.com. Camino and Company is a mobile flower shop brought to you by local flower farmers and providers. They have small business partners and the Camino and Company founders. Their mascot is a 1984 El Camino. It's an SS, which belongs to Carly Witham Elbrett. Carly Witham, she's my daughter, and her grandpa owns the El Camino. That's V.E. Witham. We'll also mention the goal at Camino and Company is to please each customer from their concepts to the Camino and Company completion. You can explore their website. Again, it's Camino-and-company.com. And they are now booking 2026 brides. Contact them via the website, and they'll help you get the flowers delivered that you need without any hesitation. At Camino and Company. They're going to throw it to second base. Frozen rope off the fingertip of Isaiah Hopkins. And Lafayette Jeff, the Broncos are going to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Stepping into bat for the Broncos, 5-hitter number 3, Asa Ritchie, first baseman. Working from the windup, first pitch from Sandberg. Swung on, he'll pop it to the outfield. Be playable, Coy Gick going to veer to his left, center fielder, and make the grab. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So next batter going to step in for the Broncos. Going to be number 15, the 6-hitter. He's center fielder. That is Thomas Potempa. Thomas Potempa. He's played in 10 games, 24 plate appearances, 18 at bat. First pitch to Potempa, low for ball 1. So Potempa, we'll mention his on-base percentage is .304. He has scored 3 runs, and he's got 2 hits. He's got a single and a triple. Here comes the wide and the pitch. Outside edge, strike called. That's a good strike for strike zone, high school. That's a good strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Another one, perfectly placed, carbon copy, taken for strike 2. One ball, two strikes. Left-handed batter, Thomas Potempa. He's going to ask for time. He'll step out. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He'll step back in. Potempa has 2 RBI this season. He's been left on base 10 times. You're going to take a foul ball there. It went off the dirt in the box, went up and got him on the leg. Instant foul ball call by the home plate umpire. So 1 ball, 2 strikes again. Potempa. There's 1 out. Working out of the windup. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. And he'll go down swinging. The Knights will throw it around first base side first. So 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Going to step in. Number 8, Kyle O'Neill. Kyle O'Neill, second baseman. Working from the windup. Gus Sandberg. Here comes the pitch. Swung on back up the middle. Giving it an effort was L.J. Whitford. He wasn't going to get to it. Base hit in on the ground, goes into center field, and they throw it back in. A base hit for Kyle O'Neill. Kyle O'Neill picks up his 6th hit on the, I should say 6th base hit on the season. 7th hit. He's got 1 double. So with 2 outs, stepping in, Will Armstrong was number 7. Right into the batter's box. Out of set position. Gus Sandberg, here's the pitch. Low for ball 1. So Will Armstrong on the season. He played in 9 games entering this one. Batting .286. 375 on base percentage. He got 1 RBI. Out of the set. Sandberg, here's the pitch. Going to pop one up right side. It's going to be in the grass. Giving it a look. It's going to drop. Pop that one up to no man's land. Nobody could get to it. And they throw in the second base and trying to extend the base pads. They're going to throw him out at second base. Will Armstrong got credit for a base hit, but he tried to make it to second with that ball floating and just laying on the ground. I think it was Mikey Stapleton picked it up and gunned him to second base. So he got a base hit. He got credit for that. They did not score. They did not score a run. We'll mention the Broncos are going to go with the relief pitcher here in the top of the 6th inning. So Lafayette Jeff couldn't get a run across in the bottom of the 5th. So it'll stay a 6-5 contest. Lafayette Jeff in front. And we'll also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Robin's Nest. Robin's Nest, that's in Thorntown. Robin's Nest, Thorntown's Cozy Coffee Cafe. They also have food. You can get food there, breakfast and lunch. I think they close about 2 p.m., so dinner is not available. They have a nice coffee shop right there in Thorntown. If you're not familiar with Thorntown, or if you are, right there they have Stookies. That's a nice restaurant there. It's about a block to the east, same side of the road, right there on Main Street. 102 West Main Street. Right there at Robin's Nest, they have private event space rental available. Call them at 765 592 1530. It's Robin's Nest right there in Thorntown. But stepping in for the night is going to be Coy Gick. Coy Gick made a catch there in bottom of the 5th. First pitch, Gick. High and upstairs, ball 1. Working right there on the rubber. Double check that. Here comes the second pitch to Gick. High for ball 2. Doing the pitching now is number 5, Tristan Barrett. He's a junior. He wears number 5. He's got an ERA of 1.54. He's throwing some heats. Another one upstairs, ball 3 to Gick. So Barrett, he's got 1 win, no losses on the season. This is appearance number 6. So a 3-0 count. First batter for the Knights here in the top of the 6th. outside ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk issued to Coy Gick. And we're going to see Brennan Van Kirk. So Gick is at first base. And we'll mention Gick on the season has 6 stolen bases. 6 stolen bases leads the team. Stepping in, Brennan Van Kirk. Looking out stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. So right there at the strike zone now is number 5, Tristan Barrett. Tristan Barrett peers in, looks at signals out of the stretch. Check first base out of the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He's going to square the bunt. He'll put it down. Right back at Barrett. They'll try to get the out at second. They will. They'll get the lead runner. It was an effort by Gick. And let's see what the situation is. I believe they called him out. And I think they're wanting some interference, so the throw wasn't on target at first base. But he slid right to the base pad. I mean, unless he grabbed the leg of shortstop Mason Pekin, that's just a crash. That's what they call it in umpire meetings. They say that's just a crash. So some more conversation. Umpires, I should say the base umpire, having a conversation now with the coach, and I think the coach just got asked to leave the game. So yep, that's true. So he's gonna walk off. Sometimes that's good for the morale. Bobby Knight did it. Bobby Knight was successful pretty much all 29 years. And we'll talk about the 76 team here in a moment. So next batter for the Knights is going to be the number 3, the one hitter for the Knights, L.J. Whitford. There's one out on the diamond. We're in the top of the 6th inning. It's a 6-5 ball game. 6-5 contest. Broncos in front. As mentioned, Knights batting, top of the 6th, one out. One runner at first base for the Knights. We're going to stretch. Now the set. Number 5, Tristan Barrett. Swinging a miss. L.J. Whitford took a heavy cut right there. That belonged to him. First strike is yours. So L.J. Whitford going to step back in. Right-handed batter's box on deck is Alex Schumer. Here and in, look at that signal. Out of stretch. Tristan Barrett was number 5. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Barrett can bring it. Tristan Barrett, a member of the junior class. Barrett can bring the fastball. I mentioned Barrett. He's got 13 and 2 innings entering this game. He's given up 6 hits, 8 runs. Only 3 of those runs were earned. Out of set position. Checks the base. Here we go. Across the dish. Breaking pitch. Strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes to L.J. Whitford. L.J. Whitford. And we'll mention Barrett has struck out 15 batters in 13 2/3. So more than a strikeout per inning for Barrett. Timeout called by L.J. Whitford. Whitford's going to step back in. He's batting .290, .425 on base percentage. Out of set position. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. He'll foul this one right side. That'll reach the road over there. So he'll stay in the box. That 1-2 count. L.J. Whitford, 9 hits on the season, 7 singles, 1 double. Has not tripled, but he's hit 1 home run. He's got 8 RBI. So he'll step back in. 1-2 count, 1 out. Lots of a runner at first base. Out of the set. Barrett. He'll check first. Here's the pitch. Swung on. He'll foul this one. Stay alive in the box. So L.J. Whitford, sophomore athlete. keeping himself alive in that batter's box. He'll have a 1-2 count again, 1 out. Knight's batting in the top of the sixth. 6-5 contest. Broncos in front. Let's have a runner at first base. Back in, L.J. Whitford. Kristen Barrett out of the set position. Checks first. Here's the pitch. High above the zone. Ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Whitford. Whitford has scored 12 runs on the season. He's tied with Schumer. Steps back in. L.J. Whitford. 2-2 count. 1 out. Out of set. Checks first. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. So, swing and a miss. He'll go down swinging, and there are 2 outs here in the top of the sixth inning. So, next batter going to step in. It's number 12, the 2-hitter, Alex Schumer. So, runner at first base. Some signals being given there on the infield by Ben Pickering, the catcher. Alex Schumer going to step in with 11 hits, 6 singles, 4 doubles, and 1 home run. Here and in, look at the signal. Alex Stad. Here comes a pitch from Barrett. High and outside, ball 1. Barrett can bring the fastball. He has velocity. When he gets dialed in here in a game or two, he's going to be really dangerous in a good way. So peering in, looking at signal. Long peer from Pickering. He'll step off the back. He'll step off the back. He'll start again. I didn't like the signal. I don't like shaking off signals. Some pitchers don't like doing that. They step off the back, start again. Out of the set. Now we're going to have timeout in the left-handed batter's box. A lot of concentration time. I tell you what, when you're bringing the fastball like Barrett is, that's a good time to call timeout when the concentration time is wearing down thin. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Outside of ball, just missed. Just missed outside. And I believe it counts 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. There's 2 outs. Top of the sixth. 6-5 contest. Broncos in front. Out of the set. Barrett. Here comes the pitch. Just above the zone. Ball 3. Just above the zone. Ball 3. Not swingable. Hand over fist. That makes it too tall for ball 3. Schumer. Going in, looking at signal. Out of the stretch, looking for his signal. He got it. Now the set position for Barrett. Here comes the pitch. Right down meridian, strike called. So take pitch all the way. Now it's a 3-1 count. I might have to see the optometrist sometime soon. I don't know when. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Inside half, strike called, a fastball. 3-2 count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Alex Schumer, left-handed batter's box. Right-handed pitcher, Tristan Barrett. Out of set, here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4. So Alex Schumer will jog down. And runners on first and second base. We're going to see Isaiah Hopkins. He's going to remove the shin guards there. So he's going to walk up. Isaiah Hopkins. And you're going to step in. He seems to get himself on base. So we'll see what he can do here. I would guess if anybody can leave this yard, it would be him. He could probably leave the yard with the baseball. So right into batter's box. Runners at first and second. Out of set, here's the pitch. Strike called. Fastball, no swing. 0-1 count to Hopkins. Peering in, looking at signal. Kristen Barrett. Runners at first and second. There are 2 outs. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Hopkins. Outside of ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Isaiah Hopkins batting .429 in that right-handed batter's out of set position. Barrett checks second base. Here comes the 1-1. Outside ball two. Not a bad job trying to frame that ball by Pickering. You can frame it with your wrist. Umpire be more reluctant to give it to you, but a forearm gives it away. Alice said, here comes a 2-1. Foul ball, right side, going to get the net. It'll stay in the field of play. So a 2-2 count, 2 outs, 2 aboard for the Knights here at the top of the 6th inning. A 6-5 contest here on a Friday night. Out of set position. Check second base. Here's the pitch. Hit by pitch. So Isaiah Hopkins catches it off the top of the helmet. He's okay, but he's going to reach base again, and we're probably going to see Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick, kind of the private base runner, courtesy runner for Isaiah Hopkins. So bases are now loaded. 2 outs. Stepping in, Gus Sandberg. We're from the windup. Tristan Barrett. Here comes the first pitch. Gus, ground ball, third base. He's going to tag the runner rather than step on the bag, but he'll get the out. He'll tag Alex Schumer, and the Knights are out of the inning. Knights leave 3 runners on board, come up with no runs here in the top of the 6th. So after 5.5 innings, Lafayette Jeff, the Broncos, 6. Lafayette, Central Catholic, the Knights, 5. So we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And again, we'll mention a little bit about the IU 76 team 50-year anniversary. We'll mention former Indiana University basketball players Bobby Wilkerson and Kent Benson were working together. They are working together and blending their efforts to promote the IU 76 team Legacy Initiative, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Indiana's undefeated basketball season. A truly historic moment. Supporting this campaign helps honor a standard of excellence and keeps that proud legacy alive through events, media, and outreach. They have set up a GoFundMe page. It is solely for the 76 Team Legacy Initiative. Their GoFundMe address is GoFundMe.me/BC32B9BD8. Again, GoFund.me/BC32D9BD8. The 1976 IU men's basketball team is still the latest and the very last undefeated national champion in men's NCAA Division I college basketball history. And I'll also mention him. Kent Benson invited me to his house in Bloomington back on March the 2nd, and he allowed about a 22-minute interview. It is tremendous. I'd say a little, and he'd say a lot. If you want to hear that interview, you can call me, 317-946-2424, or you can get in contact with Coach Fred Rogers. He's in the dugout with the Knights right now. First pitch from Schumer. Swung on, fouled back. Schumer now doing the pitching for the Knights. In the batter's box is Austin Franklin for Lafayette Jeff. Schumer steps in with 4 1/3 innings. This is appearance number 5. He's faced 17 batters. He's thrown 53 pitches. He's got a 1-win, no-loss record. He's given up 3 hits. 1 run, it was not earned. He has walked 1 batter. Pitch comes in, a breaking pitch, nicely placed. Strike called. Out goes 0-2. Austin Franklin, the right fielder. We're from the windup. Alex Schumer. Pitch comes in outside of ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alex Schumer in the lead. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here comes the pitch to Franklin. Swing and a miss. So go down swing. And there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So next batter, we're going to stay in the batter's box. Going to be number 12. Well, Ben Pickering, uh, I am definitely impressed with the batting, the hitting of Ben Pickering as a catcher. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Schumer. Low for ball one. Number 12, Ben Pickering. Ben Pickering, a member of the senior class. Working from the windup. Here comes the pitch from Schumer. Right down meridian, right below the kneecap. Strike called. Count goes 0-1. Pickering batting 424, 537 on base percentage. Here comes the pitch. Outside edge, they're going to call that a strike. Pickering is a little bit in disbelief, and I can't blame him. Count goes 1-2. One ball, two strikes, one out. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, foul ball. Right there in the batter's box, it landed about near the back side of home plate. Yes, if that had been on the plate, that'd have been a fair ball. So one ball, two strikes. Here's the pitch from Schumer. Outside of ball. A lot of folks on hand want a strike there. Profile, that probably looked good. It was in the left-handed batter's box. Count goes 2-2. We're from the windup. Alex Schumer, here's the pitch. Outside and low, ball three. 3-2 count to Pickering. Pickering on the season has walked six times. Here comes the wind and the pitch. He's going to take a drive to center field. He got a lot of it. It's going to go deep in center field. It had probably been out in a different portion of his park. That went to the warning track. He got every bit of that one. He ends up at third base with a triple. Gordon Lemming, he would have been jogging from home plate on. That was a shot. 414 here, center field. I would guess that went 390. I would guess. The timeout on the field, Coach Borden going to walk out. Going to talk with his infield. So Ben Pickering going to give way to a courtesy runner. And for the fourth time in this game, Preston Robertson, number 23, is going to be the courtesy runner for Ben Pickering. So timeout on the diamond. And they're talking it over right there. Coach Borden out on the diamond. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers. Fritz and Fishers and Fritz in Noblesville, they are celebrating 43 years in the car business right there in the heart of the Nickel Plate District. They buy cars along with selling cars, late model cars and trucks. Each vehicle is pre-delivery inspection. They have two Hamilton County locations. One is in Fishers, 8599 East, 116th Street. Dial them there at 317-842-2228. Their second location, Hamilton County, Noblesville, between Noblesville and Westfield, right there on State Road 32. And I will mention, you can dial them there at 317-773-2232. It's Fritz and Fishers, FRITZ. A little YMCA music, the Village People. So what back in earlier days, Indianapolis Indians games used to be a gentleman get on top of the press or the dugouts and do the dance. So the ninth infield is in. Breaking pitch. Just missed, evidently just missed above the zone, ball one. In the batter's box for the Broncos, number 8, Kyle O'Neill. Runner at third base. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he'll foul this one back out of play. So one ball, one strike. He'll step back in. One out. Here, the bottom of the sixth. Dallas sad. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. So a 1-2 count. Kyle O'Neill, heaven hitter for the Broncos. Right-handed batter. Facing the righty, Alex Schumer. Schumer out of that. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. So he'll set him down swinging. And Alex Schumer popping the glove on that one. So the Knight's going to go back to regular depth now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And stepping into bat, number 4, Ethan Lane. Let me double check here. Yeah, Ethan Lane in the batter's box. Right-handed batter. Working out a stretch. Now that. Here comes the pitch. Going to take a shot to the left field. Brendan Van Kirk is going to get over his head. It's going to bounce up against the wall at the 358 mark. Coming in to score, second time that I know of in the game, is number 23, Preston Robertson. It's going to be a 2-base hit off the bat of Ethan Lane, the third baseman for the Broncos. So Ethan Lane going to jog over. He's going to hand batting gloves. Third base coach, the current third base coach. And stepping in, again, we're going to see number 20, Aiden Holly. Aiden Holly, designated hitter. So Isaiah Hopkins is going to jog out. I'm going to talk a few words with Alex Schumer. So Aiden Holly, pretty good sized young man. If I was being football oriented, I mean, not because the draft going on, but I'd probably think of Aiden Holly as a center on the football team, hiking the ball to quarterback. He's a good sized young man. So he'll step in, right-handed batter. Runner at second base. 2-base hit from Ethan Lane and an RBI. Here comes the pitch. Going to take a shot to center field, and Coy Gick is right there. Gick moves to his left. He's playing pretty good depth and makes the catch on a line shot to center field. But not before. Lafayette Jeff pick up one more in the bottom of the 6th, and it's a 7-5 ball game. The Knights are going to bat in the top of the 7th inning. And back out on the pitcher's rubber for Lafayette Jeff is number 5, Tristan Barrett. And I will also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Camino and Company. We welcome you and your patronage at Camino and Company, the mobile flower shop and wedding studio based in downtown Noblesville. You'll find Camino and Company on the north side of the courthouse square. That's at 876 Logan Street. Camino and Company started with a dream and grew with the love of our local community. That same love for stories and celebrations now lives in Camino Coffee. Your coffee with a story. Every cup is inspired by our founder's grandpa's 1984 El Camino. That's where Camino and Company gets its name. Camino and Company, they now have coffee. So regardless if it's morning, afternoon, or any moment you need to pause, your cup is just a click away. Camino Coffee. It's CaminoCoffee.com. CaminoCoffee.com. Just stepping in. Knight's going to bat. Top of the 7th inning. Working from the windup. Tristan Barrett, first pitch. Inside and tight, going to get him on the sleeve. And Mikey Stapleton going to go to first base on a hit by pitch for the second time this ball game. Coach Lafayette Jeff dugout comes out, talks to Pickering. Hey, Pickering. Pickering lets you know, yes, it did, and he's shirt sleeve. So everything's fine now. Stepping in for the Knights, number 21, Caden Keller. And Tristan Barrett having some words there with the infield umpire. He'll back up into B position. You're going to go deep right there to get a better view at a slide. Here comes a pitch. Inside edge, strike called. About a 10 o'clock arm slot for Tristan Barrett. That one went right diagonally across the plate. No balls, 1 strike. I was set. He looks at first. Now the set position. He'll look over the shoulder. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball. Caden Keller He's acquired some poise in that batter. He's not thinking about every hit, every pitch being hittable. The 1-1 count. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Above the zone, ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike. Aiden Keller will step back in. Runner at first base is Mikey Stapleton. 7-5 ball game. We're going to have a stretch. You're going to call time. And call time right there. And let me check again. Here in, look at signal. Looks at first, out of set. Here comes the pitch. As inside a ball. Not across the zone. A bit tall. And the count now is 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Aiden Keller, left-handed batter. Facing the righty, Tristan Barrett. Here comes the pitch. In a foul one, left side, out of play. So count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Second batter for the Knights here in the top of the 7th. Out of set position, Tristan Barrett. He'll check first. Here's the pitch. Foul ball, straight back to the screen. Just underneath the baseball. 3-2 count again. And they're racing for the ball behind home plate from each side, each dugout. And one guy, that was number 2 from each side. Out of set, Barrett, here comes the pitch. Above his zone, ball 4. So Caden Keller is going to jog to first, and get a timeout on the surface. Lafayette Jeff Broncos going to call a timeout. They're going to walk out. They're going to talk with the infield. 2 aboard, first and second, nobody out for the night. Top of the 7th inning. It's a 7-5 contest. Tying runs are on base for the night with nobody out. And we'll also go ahead and mention this. Cincinnati Reds, I've mentioned this before, the Reds, the best players of all time. They're going to break up the action now. Best players of all time. I'm a Reds fan. Big red machine type of Reds fan. Since 1990, nothing's been happening. Stepping in the bat for the night, Colton Geyer. First base, Asa Ritchie up on the lip of the grass to play a bunt. 2 aboard for the Knights, first and second base. Out of set, Tristan Barrett. He'll check second base. He'll check it again. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, got the dish, strike called. Colton Geyer getting signaled, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Colton Geyer batting .313. He's got 3 RBI. He got a .421 on base percentage. Out of set for Barrett. He'll check second. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. So no balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. First and second base runners for the night. Top of the 7th inning. Here and in, look at the signal. Now out of the set becomes the 0-2 pitch to Geyer. Swing and a miss. So he'll go down swinging. There's 1 out. Here in the top of the 7th inning. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. Going to be number 2, Coy Gick. Coy Gick, center fielder. Coy Gick has a double in this game. Coy Gick, like nothing more to get a multiple hit ball game. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. Next second base, here's a pitch. Breaking pitch finishes away, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. 2 aboard, first and second for the night. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. 2-run deficit. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Outside, a little bit tall, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The Coy Gick. Coy Gick made a good catch in the bottom of the 6th, the end of the inning. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Outside for a ball. Count goes 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. He'll step back in. Here and in, looking at signals. Tristan Barrett. Now the stretch. Now the set position. Check second base. Here comes a 3-0 pitch. Ball four, breaking pitch. Good block there by Ben Pickering. So the runners move up 90 feet. And I believe there's going to be a change of pitching here as the coach walks out. He's going to bring a glove with him. And then somebody's going to change a glove. And we're going to see a new pitcher here in the top of the seventh inning. So they give him a good hand clap. Tristan Barrett did a fine job. Tristan Barrett has some heat. So he'll get warmed up right there, get some warm-up toss. Going to pitch here in the top of the seventh inning. Warm-up tosses there. Right-handed pitcher for the Broncos. Okay, it's going to be number 9, Mason Pekin, senior class member, now taking warm-ups there at the pitcher's room. Mason Pekin began this game at shortstop. As mentioned, quite an athletic young man. He's going to do the pitching right now. We'll let you know. Mason Pekin, member of the senior class. And Mason Pekin wears number 9. He's got 8 2/3 innings under his belt. He's allowed 3 hits. He's allowed 2 runs. None of those runs were earned. He had not walked a batter. He has struck out 13. He's allowed 1 home run. That's the only home run that the pitching staff has allowed this year. He has faced 33 batters, and he's thrown a total of 119 pitches. So he's stepping to the rubber right now. They're going to start the game back up again. Here we go. We're going to see Brennan Van Kirk. Bases loaded for the night. There's 1 out. We'll mention Issa Ritchie in on the lip of the grass, not too far. So the infield playing halfway, middle infielders. First pitch, breaking pitch in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Brennan Van Kirk. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter's box. Looking out the stretch. Now the set. Here's the pitch. Another breaking pitch. Got the dish. Broke away. Strike call. Nice call. Good pitch by Pekin. So no balls, 2 strikes to Van Kirk. Out of set position. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball, right side. Got the net. He picked up in the field of play. So he'll step back in with an 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes. Van Kirk. Second time. Looking out of set position. Pekin. Here comes the pitch. He's going to take a shot, foul ball, left field. It's going to go out of play right there in the bullpen area. They do have a secured bullpen area for both dugouts. It's well done. So again, a no balls, 2 strike count. Third time, here's the pitch. High and tight. Had to kind of some chin music there. Count goes 1 and 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brennan Van Kirk, left fielder, out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Going to pop one. Center field, it might be playable. It's going to be bring in the center fielder. The right fielder will make the catch. No tag at third base. The throw was good to home plate. That'd have been a toughie. So they're going to hold him. Coach Borton holds him on the bases. And I'm coming in from right field, Austin Franklin. Had to come in a long way to make that catch. So next batter, we're going to see L.J. Whitford. 2 outs on the diamond. Bases are loaded. 2-run deficit for Central Catholic here in the top of the 7th. So here and in, looking at signal. Now the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. This comes in, strike call. No balls, 1 strike. 1 count. Pekin might be Might be spinning that ball in his right hand looking for signals. That's the danger zone. Here comes a pitch. High and a little bit outside. Ball one. One ball, one strike. If you get your foot on the rubber, drop that ball. It's a balk. My son has done that. I was sad. Here comes a pitch. Breaking pitch. Nearly got him. He was trying to show that he was getting out of the way, but the ball didn't touch him. It was close. Two balls, one strike. L.J. Whitford out of set position. Here comes a pitch. You take one to center field, got some air, and it's going to be caught. So final pitch of the game, and this game is complete. Final score today is Lafayette Jeff Broncos 7, Lafayette Central Catholic Knights 5, and a very well played ball game and a lot of fun. We do thank you for tuning in, and we hope you'll tune in tomorrow or go to the game. Central Catholic is going to host Pioneer. The Panthers will first pitch tomorrow night will be at, tomorrow day in the morning. It'll happen at 11 a.m. And I will also mention, we'll remind you that Lafayette Jets, their next game is going to happen on Monday, the 27th. 6 o'clock start right here. The Avon Orioles will be here on Monday with Lafayette Jets. We do thank you for tuning in. We thank you for listening. And then we'll talk to Coach Bourdonnais here in just a bit. Please stay tuned. But we like to mention, no matter if you're home or away, if you're doing the teaching and the learning, don't let him go. Keep the fire burning. Post game right now. I'm going to talk to Coach Bourdonnais. Coach Bourdonnais, a nice facility, a nice game. The result, maybe not what you wanted.
Yeah, the high intensity game, a lot of energy, both sides, city rivalry, and I thought we did some good things. We got ourselves in a hole early, hit batters and walk batters, and put us in some tough situations. But give our guys credit. We did battle back, and we were right there. We had a lot of scoring opportunities late. We just couldn't come through with that big hit when we needed it.
They got a big school. They got a lot of in attendance, but it's 9-on-9 or 10-on-9 or 10-on-9. But you guys were right there with them.
Yeah, I thought we had our chances. They took advantage of a couple that they had, um, and we'll learn from this. This is why we play these games: high energy, high intensity ball games to help us in the postseason. And the good thing about baseball is you get a chance to kind of get that bad taste out of your mouth pretty quick. And we got a chance tomorrow morning at 11. So we'll bounce back. We'll be okay.